Welcome to Let's Talk Criterion, your regular look at new and forthcoming releases in the Criterion collection. In this edition, we look at the quintessential French musical, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, getting an upgrade to 4K UHD. Damien Chazelle's film La La Land gave a fitting tribute to the Umbrellas of Cherbourg and showed, as a filmmaker, how much he admired the work of Jacques Demy. Jacques Demy was a French film director who appeared at the height of the French New Wave period, alongside his contemporaries Jean-Luc Godard and François Truffaut. His films have often been celebrated for the visual style and flair, which drew upon classic Hollywood musicals. His films feature crossover continuity as characters pass from film to film, and there are lush musical scores from Michel Legrand and Michel Colombier, and motifs like teenage love, labour rights, chance encounters, incest, and the intersection between dreams and reality. He was married to another major filmmaker, that's Agnès Varda, who also contributed to the French New Wave movement. The Umbrellas of Cherbourg is his third feature, and it's a 1964 musical romantic drama written and directed by Demy. Catherine Deneuve and Nino Castelnuovo star as two young lovers in the French city of Cherbourg who are separated by circumstance. The unique thing about the film is all of the dialogue is sung, or the terms sung through, like some operas and stage musicals. Demy drew his inspiration from big Hollywood musicals, but its overall sensibility is intrinsically French. Now it's split into three parts: Part 1, the departure; Part 2, the absence; and Part 3, the return. And it's set in the quiet town of Cherbourg. It tells the story of a young couple, Geneviève, Catherine Deneuve, a beautiful 17-year-old who's living and working with her mother, Anne Vernon, in an umbrella shop, and Guy, Nino Castelnuovo, a 20-year-old mechanic. Now they share a brief but intense love affair before having to part. Geneviève falls pregnant with Guy's baby just before he is conscripted to join the army for the war in Algeria for 2 years. The film spans the course of 2 years in depth, and in fact the couple only occupy a short segment of the film. The second and third acts of the film are concerned with their separation. Meanwhile, Genevieve's mother, Madame Emery, pushes her daughter towards a wealthy diamond dealer, Roland Cassard, Marc Michel. Now, the difference in age here between the actors, that's Anne Vernon, 39 at the time of filming, and Michel, only 35, leads one to believe that there may well have been some attraction between the characters. Nevertheless, she pushes her daughter towards this cultured and somewhat cold man of travel and hopes to raise their social aspirations through him, to Genevieve's distress. Now, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg is bathed in colour, really suitable for 4K UHD, because it's so bright and intense. Imagine it as an irresistible shot of colour, sounds and flavours. Too much and you'll regret it, but just the right dose and it's a little indulgence. Now, the combination of bright images and a soaring string-based score composed for the film by Michel Legrand means the musical plays out more like a melodrama than, in fact, the standard conventions of a stage-to-screen adaptation. Demy's conjured an aesthetically brilliant film here, charming to watch. The opening sequence of Umbrellas sees Geneviève rapturously happy during a secret rendezvous with Guy. The setup itself is pleasant, economically pointing immediately to their working-class roots, and the luxury of life on the other side in the form of customers who visit the shop. Geneviève has to run back to help her mother, but she spots Guy across the road, and she's framed by an aura of colourful umbrellas and wallpaper as she beams at him out of the window, and it's charming in every sense, beautifully lit, beautifully framed, and she's a beautiful girl. It's a film that touches on the cliché and the hyperbole of first love, but The couple are forced to live in the real world and confront their circumstances. In fact, the film throughout captures the fun of the swinging 60s with the tension of Genevieve and her overbearing but well-meaning mother struggling to make ends meet and to appear respectable in society. Now, I wouldn't describe the film as a feel-good film, but the pleasure derived from watching it feels much more permanent than a saccharine-festive rom-com would. The artistic representation of first love in the face of realistic circumstances in French society, where the odds are weighted against the youngsters. It's also a film about the passing of seasons and about reflection. Demy's musical came towards the end of the pioneering French New Wave movement, but it's rooted in opera. The whole film sung throughout. Although there were mixed responses to Tom Hooper's Les Miserables, which set out to do something similar, Umbrellas is different though. It was created organically to be shown on film. In addition to this, the film's colour palette is exceptional. The already modish 1960s interior decor of the umbrella shop, run by mother and daughter, is brought to life entirely by its beautiful colour scheme. Florals, prints, block colours, they're used liberally, and they make the production design so much more memorable than other films of the period. It's dissimilar to many classic musicals as well, because it pares down some of the overt theatricality. For example, there's usually a sequence called a dream ballet. In a film like An American in Paris, Gene Kelly enacts a fantasy version of the story over the course of a few minutes. And there's La La Land's climax, where Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone dance through a version of their story they could have had, less overtly theatrical. Umbrella still has a semblance of the dream ballet in the interaction between Guy and Genevieve, but it's more evenly paced. Every moment between them feels like a dream as they sing and seem to float through brightly coloured streets together. In an interview with the BFI, Catherine Deneuve explains some of her views on the film, her career and Demy's direction. She described him as quite harsh when it came to accuracy on set. Although a perfectionist to the detriment of some of the cast and crew working at the time, it proved to be a demanding production. The hard work paid off and the film got made. She also described the way actors had little leeway when it came to their performances. They were required to act to musical cues, which makes the final product all the better. Now, the reason I think The Umbrellas of Cherbourg should be remembered in particular is because of its vibrancy, outdoing a lot of the work of the contemporary period. It remains not only a classic romance tragedy, but it also borrows from the conventions of opera, which makes it a timeless little piece of magic. In a genre that's often treated with condescension because of its lightness, its performances bring gravity and sincerity. It's easy to fall in love with the characters and to hope that they will turn out happy. After all, it's an ode to the brilliance of youth and how everything else pales in comparison. Now, the continuous music score and the brightly coloured photography had much to do with the popularity of this film. Formally, the work is operatic, with the plot advanced entirely through dialogue, sung with accompanying music. The colour photography is bright and vivid. The whole is united by an orchestral score of simple rhythms and tunes that are integrated with the story, covering 5 years. Now, the cast weren't trained singers. Most of them were dubbed and lip-synced. The film comes to Criterion as a 4K UHD combo, with the 4K UHD and the Blu-ray with the film and these supplemental features. Alternate uncompressed mono soundtrack. Once Upon a Time, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, a 2008 documentary. Interview with film scholar Rodney Hill. French television interview from 1964 featuring Jacques Demy and composer Michel Legrand discussing the film. Archival audio interviews with Legrand and the actor Catherine Deneuve at the National Film Theatre in London. Demonstration of the 2013 restoration of the film. Trailer and an essay written by the critic Jim Ridley. And we've new illustration by Michael Philip Dunbaby. With a splash of colour and a stunning score by Michel Legrand, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg has a running time of 92 minutes and it's in a 1:85:1 aspect ratio, and it releases on 4K UHD and Blu-ray on Tuesday the 6th of May. And if you would like to see more of Jacques Demy's work, then we have the Essential Jacques Demy, and that is a 6-film set and across his entire career, showing his originality in style, form and storytelling. Next time on Let's Talk Criterion, we'll be taking a look at a new Janus Contemporary release, and it's Room 666, Room 999, and that's coming next. So until then, from me, it's goodbye, and above all, good Criterion viewing.